leaves, right? All right, here's how you got to take this thing down. So you grab it up here, at least this is my way. I don't know if this is the official way. And I straighten it out so it's standing straight up. And then you got the gloves on. You grab the cord and you lift it up. And now you can bring it down. Bring it down. And you get it down like this. And voila. Hey guys, welcome back. This is my beautiful view from up here on the roof, cleaning the leaves. And I've got this long gutter line that I gotta go down. This is the joys of home ownership. Now it's a beautiful day. This is the kind of day you want to get up on a 2-story ladder and clean your gutters. There's no wind. It's sunny out, and I just raked up all the leaves. Beautiful. Oh, I have to do this like 3 times, 4 times a year. Get up on this gutter and clean the leaves. I mean, this is non-stop when you live near the forest. Now there's still a ton of oak leaves up there, but the majority of them have kind of thinned out. Now I'm real cautious and real careful up here. I take my time, I don't rush. I'm too old to be rushing it, okay? And I've done this numerous times so I don't feel like scared or anything. Now I never get on my roof. It's just too steep and too much of a drop off. Definitely 2 stories up, would not be fun. But yeah, this is what home ownership is everyone in this neighborhood, it's a beautiful day. They're not out sipping the wine and chilling. They're out raking leaves, blowing leaves each and every day. And for me, I got to keep these gutters up because I'm a big stickler when it comes to water. Okay, for home ownership, water is your enemy. It is not your friend. And you want the water to go away from your house. And that's what gutters provide you. Provide you the ability to get water away from your house. So when all these leaves, they stack up in here, it's hard to really show you it. But when they stack up in here, they basically block all the drainage to get the water away from your house. And then you get overflow on your gutters, and you can get floods that way. And that's what's happened with my window well down there. And yeah, it is what it is. You got to take care of your house. So, you know, the dream, the American dream, it's tricky. You know, it really is. It's tricky as far as, do you really want this? It is a lot of work. It's just as much work as going to a day job when you're taking care of your house. You know, whether you got a 1-story or a 2-story. If you have a 2-story, this is a big consideration, is do you have the capacity to be able to go up on your gutters and clean them every fall? If you've got large, mature trees where, you know, expensive houses typically are. They're typically in locations where you have big trees that are bigger than your house. So this is something to consider when you're buying a house, is trees. I know some people who used to live in this neighborhood, and they moved over to this area that has no trees, and they did it for this specific reason, because they didn't want to deal with all the leaves. And I don't blame them, because I'm 45 now, and I think when I get to like 50 or 55, this could be problematic. So I'm going to get down right now because I don't want to be talking for too long up here. I want to be safe, and I'll continue and finish the vlog. So yeah, I moved this ladder across the entire, I gotta make sure it's stable. Yeah, I moved this ladder across the entire line of this gutter run. Just to get these stinking leaves out. And this ladder, let me tell you, It's extremely heavy. It's one of these fiberglass ones. I don't know if I made a mistake on whether or not I should have bought an aluminum ladder. I think the aluminums are lighter, but they're not as stable, I believe, as the fiberglass ones. You guys tell me in the comments if the fiberglass ladders are better for stability or the aluminum ones are. But it is what it is. I've had it for a couple of years. I've learned to maneuver it properly. And then of course, gotta take my time. Coming down and going up. And of course, if it's wet out, that's even worse. I try not to do this when it's wet. I try to do this when it's dry out. There. Now I gotta go another 2 feet over, approximately. And you definitely don't want to reach when you're up here, reach too far to the left or the right, or else your ladder is going to swing. Now I do know they make these kind of wings on both sides you can get. Probably should look at getting one of those, but it's just another thing. Good thing I got a couple life insurance policies just in case. Figured I'd show you guys the amount of work that you really have to do for a house. It's like if you're going to explore a house, watch people have to do this all the time, and then you might think twice. Get a ranch. I'll tell you what, my first house, or not my first, but my last house that we lived in for 17 years was a ranch, and my single-story ladder, piece of cake. I can do that thing all day long. I used to get up on the roof, wasn't even a problem, not even scary. But there's no way I would go up on this roof. I don't know how roofers do it. I gotta give them props. There. And then taking this thing down, I'll even show you guys it. It's a freaking nightmare. Let's put it that way. Well, it's not a nightmare. It's just a little bit of strategy with it to take it down properly. Good old oaks. All right, probably 2 more to go. All right. And then I've got 3 other gutters that are 2 stories tall, but not as long. They're only like probably 2 to 4 feet long, and I can do them without even moving the ladder. So that's kind of a nice thing on the front. But I hate this back one is so long. I don't like doing it. But this is what men do, guys. If you're a man, this is what you're gonna have to do. Is get on the 2-story ladder and risk your life for your family. And it is what it is, right? Because that's what we do. I don't know about the guys today. Apparently guys are, so they say on social media, are becoming I guess, more feminine or less masculine or whatever. I don't know. Are millennials and Gen Z gonna do this? Go up on a 2-story ladder? This white collar Gen Xer or millennial, I don't know what you call him, he does it. Because that's what you gotta do to make money in this world. You wanna not spend it. Because if I had to hire someone out to come do this, it'd probably cost me $150 each time. Because that company, they require insurance in case somebody falls and breaks their neck. And so that you're paying for that premium every time they come out. And I'd have to have them come out 3-4 times a year at least. And you know, this is something I consider for my retirement, is that if I want to stay in this house and I don't downsize, because I don't see my wife ever wanting to leave this home. If I ever want to downsize, I'm going to have to pay for someone to come out 3-4 times a year. Because if I'm 50, 55, probably definitely 55, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Just from a risk perspective, even now, even as 45, I still think it's kind of risky for me to do this, but it is what it is, right? All right, here's how you got to take this thing down. So you grab it up here, at least this is my way. I don't know if this is the official way. And I straighten it out so it's standing straight up. And then you got the gloves on. You grab the cord and you lift it up. And now you can bring it down. Bring it down, and you get it down like this. And voila. That is never fun. I'm already sweating it. But it is a good workout, I will say. I will be sore come tonight and tomorrow from going up and down the ladder. So it's good. Now, if you look behind me, this is like 2 to 3 days worth of leaves that I have to rake up, put on a tarp, and bring out here to my road. Now, this road becomes like a one-way street. You kind of got to dodge the traffic if somebody's coming the other way, because all the neighbors, they just pile up their leaves on both sides of the road. It becomes like a one-lane road, so it's kind of funny how that works. But yeah, it's just a lot of work. You know, home ownership is a lot of work. Now I got that nice and green look now, no leaves. Now hopefully this doesn't still have a ton of leaves coming down. Like I said, there's still a few oaks here and there that have a few leaves, like even this one. Let's see here if I can show you that. Yeah, that one's still got a decent amount. I'm still gonna probably have to do a little bit of work there. But overall, you know, the vast majority of the leaves are down. I can probably mow the others if I do have to get the mower out. Middle of November, it's like 50, 60 degrees out. So I was like, man, I need to take advantage of this day and get this all done, because this becomes just a nightmare when it's wet and cold and snowy and half icy. You know, you get the leaves in your gutters and they're full of ice, they've frozen over. That's a pain. And then, of course, Christmas lights. That's my next task. I got to get back on this this 2-story ladder over there, up in the front, and I do one peak on my garage, which is around 2 stories, and then I do a peak in my front, above my front door. That's another 2 stories. I hate doing those. It's like, you know, I know that, you know, if I fall, man, I'm toast. But sometimes you got to take risks to enjoy life and cherish the moments that you have with your kids. So that's why I do it. The other reason I do the leaves, obviously, like I said, is for the water, man. I'm a stickler for water because of this window well here. Right there. It's brand new. Now it's above my siding. As you can see, it's mounted there, right where the siding is. It was like almost a foot in the ground, and all the water would accumulate all around it, and then it would create like a waterfall, and then it was dumping into my window well. And it almost came in, honestly, like the window was bowed. We had this flood from this tornado. The window was bowed in, and somehow it held. It didn't crash through my Lego storage area. You know, that would have been a disaster and just a disappointment. After all these years of collecting all these Legos, all to be done up with a one flood, you know. So I'm super picky about the water. But yeah, that's the American dream, right? According to a lot of people, the American dream of home ownership. I don't know, you know, these days, that's far-fetched with the pricing of housing and the maintenance you got to do. I love it, don't get me wrong, you know. I am living the dream of owning a home. I'm so appreciative of it. But to me, I think the American dream is all about starting and growing a business or growing in the stock market. That's really what the American dream is to me. And raising a family too, I think that's part of it. Does it have to be in a house though? I don't know. I don't know if it does. You know, especially with the 50-year mortgage, you might as well be renting because it's about the same thing. You're renting from a bank. And the bank owns the house, right guys? The banks all own the houses if you still have a mortgage. They don't come out to clean the gutters, right? They don't come out to power wash the patio. They don't do any of that. You have to do that. You are working for the bank if you have a mortgage. And that's definitely why I continue to pay down this mortgage, because I do not want to work for the banks. I want to own this thing outright. And that's going to be my goal. I'm not going to get super aggressive with it. I've been thinking about it more and more. Like, should I get aggressive with it or live my life? I need to take a step back and look at all the things I have in savings and decide when is enough. You know, like you need, you know, they say to have 6 months in emergency funds or 12 months. I got to look at that and really see what I have. I know I've got probably 6 months, but do I have 12 months? And if I don't, is that how much I want? Do I want 12 months in emergency funds if I was out of work to pay for everything? Maybe. So I'm going to look at that soon, because I got to start saving up for a bathroom remodel. Man, I've got drywall falling off the ceiling because I think one of the corner pieces rusted through. Now I could try to repair the drywall. I've done that before, or I could hire it, but then there's just mold all in the shower. And I know my wife, she wants a dream bathroom. We've never really had one. So I think it's time to save up. I think we have enough in cash, in emergency savings. It's time to save up for this dream bathroom of hers. She wants one of these clawfoot tubs. She would love a bidet. I would like that too, but I don't know. We'd have to change the electrical. I know you need electricity usually for a bidet. But hey, if we're going to do a bathroom remodel, we might as well do it up as much as we want it to. And then my wife wants like little to no seams in the shower, okay, for like tile. Because every time you get like grout lines for the tile, there's opportunity for mold and mildew. And she just wants like these big slabs of tile to go in on the walls, essentially. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see how much that's going to cost. She's like, I'll pay extra. I'm like, I'm going to be the one paying for the whole thing. So we'll see how that goes. I've got a lot of good videos lined up. Maybe not good, but just a lot of good videos in the queue for next week. So I'm going to do a video, I think, on how we manage our finances. I'll do that video next between my wife and I. I think that'll be a good video. Everyone likes new ideas well, I don't think this is a new idea or anything, but everyone likes to hear different viewpoints on how people manage their monies in relationships. So I think that'll be a good, interesting video. And yeah, other than that, I don't really have any plans this weekend. I might play a couple board games with my daughter and my son. But my wife's got report cards. She's busy with that. And so she's going to be working on that, because we've got like a dance Nutcracker ballet that my daughter's in next weekend. So we're going to be busy with that. So she's got to get report cards done. So I'm going to try to help out around the house, keep things up, you know, keep the machine running. I've said that before in a previous video. When the machine breaks down, we break down. That's really what it's all about. And that's what home ownership is keeping that machine well-oiled, well tuned, and that's how you get through life. Sometimes you got to keep up with things, and that's what I'm doing right now, and that's what I'm gonna do this weekend. And what about you guys? What are you guys doing for the weekend? Are you getting ready for winter, getting the leaves out of your gutters, probably blowing the leaves if it's nice in your area? That's the way to go when it's nice. So anyways, if you guys could like and subscribe to the channel, take a look at my previous video, and everyone have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.